What do I make a video about today? I'll make another server video. I've got plenty of server work to do, but you've probably seen enough of those lately. I don't need to make any more of them. I have this. I'd like to do something with this. Same thing with that empty case down there. I'd like to do something with that. There's this Quicksilver G4, but I think I already made a video about that. I don't even remember now. I've had this thing for basically ever. To do some reorganization. I don't really like that being there. I'll probably have to do something about that. I'd also like to maybe cut down on the tower of Motorola over there, but split those up into their own machines, but no. I need to fix that iMac because it stopped working. But I don't want to do that right now. I need to fix these, but I don't want to do that right now. Buried underneath, oops, get a video light. Underneath all that crap, there's a monitor I gotta fix. And then also way down in there is that leading edge. Something else I gotta fix, but I don't want to do any of that. No. I want to look at something that I should have looked at a while ago, and that somebody pointed out recently. Well, it's not recently anymore, but somebody had pointed out in my AT&T Globalist video, and that's this thing, which I got at Hamfest 2021, and has basically, it was sitting over there, now it's sitting under here, but other than that, it really hasn't moved. So, let's pull that out and take a look at it. Okay, I brought it into the light, so that way you'd have a hope and a prayer of actually seeing it. Unfortunately, it also brought me closer to the air conditioner, so you'll have to live with that noise. But this is a Gateway computer. This is actually, if I remember the model right, and I'll probably get it completely wrong, is a Gateway Performance 1400. It's given to me by Kirby Crazy. I believe goes by MattAss78MN on YouTube, or at least used to. And really, it was probably foolhardy to speak for this, because this is just one of those crappy Pentium 4 systems, and this is one of those early gimped Socket 423, well, I guess I shouldn't call it gimped, because they really weren't. I mean, they were, but it wasn't anything. Well, actually, you know what, it was because of Intel, but we'll get into that in a minute. But this is one of those early designs that really nobody ever really glommed onto. You only really saw them in OEM machines. And you see, it's pretty loaded. Got 2 optical drives, one of which is a DVD-ROM. That's kind of nice. Looks like it doesn't burn anything, but that's okay. If I want to burn disks, I've got better computers anyway. A right and proper floppy drive, 2 USB ports. I believe that would have been for FireWire. That's what that looks like. Or I guess it would be 1394, but same diff. It's just that FireWire is Apple's trademark. But this doesn't have that. Aforementioned Pentium 4 sticker, and of course designed for Windows 2000 Professional, or if you were a sadist, you installed Windows Me on it. In fact, that's actually probably what a lot of these got, because I imagine that most of these were sold as home machines, and home users were saddled with the crappy Windows Me. This thing on the top actually comes off. For what purpose, I don't know. Looks like this one did in fact sell with Windows Millennium Edition. So that's what the COA is on the side. I don't know, I might even be enough of a masochist to actually run that on this. But I've certainly got plenty of Windows Me machines already. Here's the power supply. I'll look inside it. Looks okay. Reasonable quality. This is a Performance 1300. I will correct myself. I thought it was a 1400, but I don't really know what the difference is. Standard card of ports. Unlike a lot of these cheap machines, they actually labeled them with the correct PC99 color code. Coming down here, this is one of those early systems that would have had one of these crappy knockout things that was supposed to keep all your cards in place. Goodness only knows how well that actually is going to work over time. But this has a video. I mean, it would have to. There's no onboard video, but there's a video card there. There's a sound card here. There's an Ethernet card. And probably the bone stock modem. That's a massive cooling fan opening. No doubt they would have fitted it with a 92mm from the factory, but it's nice that they at least put the knockouts for a 120mm. Now the question of the day is, how the hell do you get this thing open? I think I need two hands to do it. Yes, I was right, you do need two hands. You lift up on this, lift down on this, and it pops off. To reveal the magic within. If you could really call it magic. Why did I call these a GIMP design? Well, one of Intel's fondness with these socket 423 systems was to pair them with Rambus RDRAM, which is what we've got in here now. And Rambus RDRAM, there really wasn't anything necessarily wrong with the product. I mean, it wasn't great, but there wasn't anything really wrong with it. It's just that it was frightfully expensive, and the company that produced it now exists solely as a patent troll, going around suing people with what they feel are relevant patents that they have applied for and been granted. So, I prefer to have nothing to do with the Rambus company, but every once in a while it's nice to play around with one of these systems. I will have to upgrade the RAM. I have no idea what's in here now. Memory Masters, that looks like cheap crap. Kind of surprising to see their name on Rambus or DRAM, but what size is it? Can I tell? That's the IDE ribbon cable. No, I can't really tell. I guess we'll find out when we power the machine on. It's got a positively state-of-the-art ATI Radeon card in it. It's probably a Radeon 7000. This sound card is a CT4870. Probably a Sound Blaster Live of some description. I'm sure it says right on it. Yeah, Sound Blaster Live. And of course there's the modem. And the Ethernet card. Not sure whose chipset's on that. But I guess we'll find out. So these are two optical drives. There's the hard drive. It looks like this thing uses stupid proprietary rails in order to install the drives. Maybe? I don't know, hard to tell. It's a Maxtor hard drive. 20 gigabytes in size. Probably not the original drive if I had to guess. Anyway, what else about this board is interesting? There's the standard microsystems low pin count I/O controller there. It has no battery, so I'll have to get it one of those. I don't know if I have any sitting around. I'll have to look. It's AGP and PCI through and through, and it looks like you get what? 5 PCI slots in an AGP? Yeah, there'll be 5 PCI in an AGP, and the top slot's useless for everything. There's your socket 423 right there. Capacitors are all good. That's kind of surprising. Usually you don't see that. This power supply. Newton power. Yeah, it's not bad. About the same quality as an NFB power supply. And they weren't terrible. The Dells use those a lot. So I'm going to put the cover back on this, and then we'll power it on and see what happens. It may or may not still work. I don't know. I haven't touched it in 2 years. So I guess we'll find out. Okay, there it is. Keyboard, mouse, display. I have to set this correctly because it does have the digital video, so I'm actually using the DVI. And this will probably power on immediately. Yep. Here it comes. Possibly. If it works. Here we go. What key gets me into setup? Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Pentium 4, 1.3. It's got 1 gig of RAM, which actually isn't too bad for RAM bus. CMOS battery low. Well, yeah, because it doesn't actually exist. Alright, 400 megahertz front side bus. Again, the that is all that the socket 423 got. All PC800. It's non-ECC memory. I thought that RAM bus was all ECC, but I guess it's not. This is really cheap crap. So I'll set this up to my liking. If there's anything interesting, I'll point it out, and then we'll boot this and see what it boots into. I think this is running Windows XP, because I think the object was that there would be, instead of 2 optical drives, there would be a 5 1/4 inch floppy drive, but that didn't actually work out because this machine doesn't support 5 1/4 inch floppy drives. Alright, I had a look. This does have an event log, but there was nothing really interesting in it. Let's see if either of these optical drives actually ejects. That one works. Gateway. That one might not. Oh, there it goes. Something about an out-of-range synchronization signal. Ah, seriously? Wow, okay. Let me try switching to the VGA. Okay, there's the VGA, and look at that. It's Windows 2000, actually. Not a bad choice. Sorry for the flickering. I'm sure that just gave someone epileptic shock. Okay. This is as found. I haven't done anything with this. Performance 1300 probably actually refers to the CPU speed, so I guess that's what the difference really is. Is that this is only 1.3 gigahertz instead of 1.4, but you know, what's the difference really? Let's take a look. See, there's an unknown PCI device. That's nice. Was I right or was I right? Radeon 7000. Look at that. NEC and Hitachi optical drives. HCF modem. Just some Win modem piece of crap. That's a Linksys Ethernet adapter. Haven't had too much experience with those. I forgot Windows 2000 had that. Of course, Sound Blaster Live is installed. And USB, which is only USB 1.1 anyway. Some stuff in the recycle bin. Setup program for something. It's got Idiot Exploiter on it, of course, because all versions of Windows basically have that. TRS-32, I imagine that's a link program for a TRS-80, at least going by the icon. Good taste in web browsers. GIMP. This looks like an M3U file, but Winamp is on the machine. So NetTalk is on here. That's the IRC client. Look at me, I'm going through somebody's personal files here. But yeah, it doesn't look like it was really used for much. Yeah, 3.46 gigabytes. Yeah, it wasn't really used for much. Pretty standard. Nothing too out of the ordinary. So, good taste in backgrounds too. But yeah, that's probably it for that. I think I've done a pretty good overview of this. What it's going to run, I have no idea right now. I may put 2000 back on it. I might actually install the unofficial updates on this, because I don't know what happened to my unofficial update machine or what state it's in, but what I can tell you is I haven't used it in a while. It's not 546. It looks like this thing has it auto-adjusted for daylight savings time in an incorrect way, but that's fine. I can always just put that back. Eastern Daylight Time, yeah, 4. There we go. So, that's pretty much it for that. Thanks for watching, and if you have any comments, feel free to leave them below. Nice thing about all that fan noise is that it drowns out the loud hard drive. So I'm sure this thing's got a screamer hard drive in it.